what's going on, world? It's your boy Boom here for This is 50, back at it again, man. Today we got a very special guest. You guys are very familiar with who she is. She's put on, ever since she came on the scene, she's always been explosive. And we got Amara La Negra.
Yes.
Hey, how you doing?
I am lovely. Thank you so much for all the love and support, okay? And yes, you know I've been putting in that work. And I'm just happy to see you, man. How have you been? How has quarantine been for you?
It's been pretty breezy, I guess. I've been staying out the way, just staying in the house like everybody else. I'm not trying to catch corona like everybody, like it's going on out here. So, but how about you? How have you been doing like this whole pandemic? How have you been? Just staying out the way, just being creative. Like you you put out a song recently on Andale.
Yes.
But
yes.
It'll be about a year since you put out your album Unstoppable.
Yes. Well, okay, so I'll start by saying that quarantine, obviously, in the beginning, I was very scared like everybody else. And to a certain extent, it kind of felt like it was vacations. So I was eating in the house, chilling, sleeping late, whatever. But then eventually, I kind of felt like, okay, vacations is over. Let's get back to work. I did put out the song. Actually, before I get into the work aspect, I'll say that I have somewhat enjoyed being in quarantine. I got the opportunity to spend more time with my mom and to actually enjoy my house, enjoy my car, enjoy the things that I have. Sometimes you, as an artist, you travel so much and you move so quickly that you don't have an opportunity to enjoy the things that you've worked for. So I most definitely got to enjoy that. I started getting into gardening thanks to my mom. I never even knew I cared about that. But since the pandemic, we started planting vegetables and fruits and all that type of things in the backyard. So I really enjoyed that. And then eventually I just felt like I had to get back to work. So I put out the song Andale and the music video, which is available on my YouTube channel. Guys, go check it out. And then, just doing music obviously has become a little bit harder because a lot of us survive, or somewhat, not necessarily survive, but we do well off our bookings, our shows, festival, concerts, clubs, and all of that is closed, especially here in Miami, which is one of the cities that has the highest statistics for COVID. So, just adapting to the quote unquote new norm.
Definitely. And then, like you said, like you've been with your mom throughout the whole quarantine and whatnot. But like, what have you been? I know something that you probably have that people haven't really noticed is what have you been reading while you were in quarantine?
What have I been reading? You know what? I'm not gonna sit here and let you be like, oh my God, I've been reading all these books. I have not. But there's one book that I am a fan of, and I went downstairs and I picked it up and I read a couple of chapters. It's called Every Day is Friday from Joel Austin. He most definitely has a lot of inspirational books that sometimes in moments like this, when you kind of feel like you're losing hope, it's kind of good to find those encouraging words to get you back on your feet. And the Law of Attraction, of course, I have it in Spanish, I have it in English, I have the DVD, I have all of it. Because like I said, during quarantine, sometimes you just feel like, so is life never going to get back to regular, or at least what we used to know as regular. And that was helpful for me. But what books have you been reading? I'm curious.
Just a bunch of self-help books, honestly. Actually, I'm reading 50 Cent's book, Hustle Hard, Hustle Smarter right now. So.
Okay. Awesome. I'm going to need a copy. Send me a copy.
Oh, okay. All right, we're going to get you on that. But other than reading and stuff for quarantine, man, obviously you being a reality star yourself, but what are some shows that you've been catching up on while in quarantine?
Look, I would be lying to you if I tell you that I've been watching shows. I haven't been watching shows. Like I said, for example, what I've been doing realistically has been cleaning a lot, reorganizing a lot, finding strategic ways to maintain myself afloat, going to the studio, reaching out to a lot of different producers and things like that. I'm working on my skincare line on the low, which I just put on blast right now. Clothing lines and things that I want to prepare for this new season of Love and Hip Hop that I want to promote. I've been making my time very productive. And then in the time that I have enjoyed, I've been going on the yachts. I've been going shopping. I've been going out to have dinners, and I know that we're supposed to be home, but I've been doing it, you know, as safe as possible. But I feel like I want to enjoy my life. I don't want to feel, I don't want to feel fearful. You know what I mean? I did 3 protests because, you know, I'm an activist. I did protests. I have done everything. And thank God I haven't, I tested, you know, I got tested and it came out negative. So, you know, I don't feel necessarily as concerned.
For sure, for sure. And then, like you said, you've been really heavy with the activism and everything like that.
Yes.
Man.
Mm-hmm.
So what is, like, with everything going on right now, what has the conversations been like between you and your family, like your immediate family, as far as, like, what's current?
Well, I mean, I have always been an activist. I started being an activist when I was about 17 years old. And I just realized that I wish that I saw leaders, strong, powerful leaders that were impactful in my own community. And because I didn't see it, and I didn't see anyone that was really representing us and it was fighting for the Afro-Latinos, for the Latinos that are Black like myself, I just felt like, so they don't talk about us, like, do we not count? So I was like, okay, fine. Well, then I'll be the voice for those that don't feel that they have a voice. And I've been doing that for a long time. So this is definitely not anything new to me. My mom knows I'm very passionate. And I be putting her, like, look, okay, Black Lives Matter, and get to it. I didn't have her going to the protest because, you know, obviously with COVID and everything else, I just didn't want to put her life at risk. But I did go to the first protest that was here in Miami before the riots. We blocked the I-95. We did everything. We protested in front of the police station. Then I also went to 2 more protests. And I just felt like any protest that they do here in Miami, I will continue to be part of it. And I will continue to use my voice, my platform to make a difference, because I say, like, if I don't do anything now, you know, what's going to happen to the next generation to come? What's going to happen to my kids, my grandchildren? What type of future are they going to live if we don't do anything and we just let things, you know, slide? So I've been putting in my work and I'm proud of it.
No doubt. And then how involved have you been as far as the voting aspect? Like, you got a lot, I mean, just in Miami alone, like, you guys, the Latin culture and even the Black culture is, like, strong as far as, like, driving home or as far as making change. Like, how have you been advocating the rights to vote, or make sure people go out and vote just for?
Well, I mean, I've been using my social media platform, which is, I think, the closest thing I can do at this moment to encourage people to vote. I've been part of different campaigns, like Black Folks Must Vote, which was a really big campaign that was happening. And I do my part to do, like, I be telling people, don't just think it's booty, okay? Booty and an afro or just a pretty face. A girl is smart over here, and I am trying to be impactful and do changes, because sometimes I feel like when people see that you post sexy pictures, or, you know, I'm young, I want to have fun, but at the same time, I can snap out of it real quick and get back to it. And like I've said to so many people, besides voting, because obviously voting is so important, you know, especially the way that 2020 has been set up. If you haven't realized all the things that have happened, and I still have to encourage you to vote. I don't know if you're living under a rock, but with everything that's happening, you know, I feel like it is so important for people to vote, for people to educate themselves. I don't want the situation that happened with George Floyd. I was like, I don't want people to feel like this is a trend. Like, this is just a momentary thing, because for a second, it was post all day, Black Lives Matter, this and that, Breonna Taylor. And then all of a sudden, as you can tell, it has slowly faded. And I feel like the fight is not over. It's not over. And there's still so many other cases. There's still so many other Black lives that haven't had any justice. So I don't know. I just don't want people to feel that, you know, that it's over.
And what people don't understand, just coming from a Latin culture and a Black culture, that even though George Floyd was something that was highly televised, it's something that happened to him happens all the time. Like, even in the past, it's happened all the time. So what is the message that you want to make sure to get to people, just to prove that, hey, like, just because it's getting televised, don't forget about the people that it happened to in the past and whatnot?
Yeah, I mean, mainly in my case, as an activist for the Afro-Latino community, and as a Black woman, as a Latina, as a woman, period, my message amongst everything is to, like, we need to be the change. And I'm so glad, and I am so proud to have been able to live in this generation, to see my generation stand up and fight. And, you know, a lot of people thought that we was going to be weak, and we haven't. We have proven our point, and we will continue. And I'm proud of that. And I want my children to one day see these interviews and see me and say, that was, you know, that was my mom. She fought, she stood up for what she believed. And as far as the Afro-Latino community is concerned, I want people to know that we're here. You know, we exist, even though that they don't talk much about us, but we're here. You know, slaves were dropped off all around the world. And there's so many, there isn't a Latin country that don't have Black people that currently are going through racism, colorism, classism, all types of things that no one talks about. And even though that they may not have a camera put in their face, and their stories may not be televised or maybe put, you know, may have not gone viral, we go through racism as well. And nothing, and I also want the Latinos that don't feel like they Black or they don't have any Black ancestry to wake up and smell the roses, because not only are you minority, but for the most part you have that Black DNA in you. So every single issue that happens here, you part of it as well. So I mean, there's just so much to say, realistically.
For sure, for sure. And then, I mean, just going through what you have to go through is not just, it's not just what we go through with social justice. Like, you just being a female and you just being a Black queen and a Latin, and Latin at the same time, man. What are some things that people need to know about going on overseas that we need to really focus on?
Like when we're talking about racial issues and stuff like that, I mean, the truth of the matter is the same thing that happens here. I don't know why so many people may not understand the fact that, like I said, racial issues and colorism doesn't just happen here. And it's 2020, and still till this day, there's part of the world, there's people in the world that are still being enslaved and sold as slaves. So it's like, I just feel that the most important thing is to take this time that we're in quarantine to educate yourself, to go to YouTube, you know, search something up, watch documentaries. If you don't like to read, it's cool, I get it. Watch a documentary, listen to an audiobook, just get yourself educated and be open-minded. I feel that because I am from, you know, I come from a different culture, I naturally am more open-minded to understanding different cultures, and I get it. I feel that a lot of people need to be more open-minded into actually wanting to do research into other people's culture, because the world is not just your city. Your world is not just social media, and nonetheless is what you watch or see in the news, because all of that we obviously know, you know, is manipulated. Yeah. But the world is very big. You know, there's 7 point something human, and 7 billion human beings in this planet. There's so much to learn. There's so much to see. So yeah, in my country, in my country and in every Latin country, you know, there's Black people and they suffer, you know, racial profiling as well. This melanin color that God has gifted us with, which I am so blessed to be a melanin queen, for a lot of people is still perceived and viewed as something bad, as something to fear, as something that's dangerous, not just in the United States, but like I said, all across the world.
Not to say that that's not true. That should be a true statement. You guys are powerful, somebody to fear. You guys are as queens as you are.
Right. But in a positive way. You know, I am dangerous because I'm all of that, and you know what I mean? But not dangerous as, well, you know, there's a Black person walking next to me, hold on to your purse. Or, you know, like, that type of energy, I've lived it 1,000 times. And people are like, oh, well, you're pretty, so it doesn't count. That's not true. People automatically see the color of my skin. Then they find out that I'm Latina and I'm Dominican or everything else or whatever it is. But automatically off the rip, you see me as a Black person. And there is this bad stereotype of what Black is, and it's not true.
Definitely. Now let's get back into the music. You recently made a post on Instagram saying that you have so much music, you're so talented, and you feel like you're sleeping on yourself. Could you elaborate on that caption? On that post.
The thing is that sometimes I've been doing this since I was 4 years old. I started in the Latin market as a child star, in a show called Sábado Gigante with Don Francisco, which was a very well-known TV show for the Latin community. I'm at a point that sometimes you just get tired. I mean, I haven't stopped. I've been very consistent my whole life, but sometimes you just have those stages where you just become tired of knocking on doors, or knocking for opportunities, of pursuing this career that's obviously very financially, it's very expensive. And it's even harder when it comes to women, because at the end of the day, I mean, I'm going to speak with no filters. Everybody's trying to dick you down. It's like, oh, you want a feature? Let me stick it to you. Oh, you want me to? Let me stick it to you. So it's like, I want you to judge me based off my talent and based off my personality and who I am and my potential, and not just based off the way that I look. So is it sometimes overwhelming and tiring? Yes. I don't have 4 years or 3 years doing this. I've been doing this since I was 4 years old, and I missed out on my childhood because I was doing movies and commercials and beauty pageants and this and that. And even now in my 20s, I feel like I put in so much work that sometimes I just be feeling like, damn, I mean, I come from the era where I admired the Janet Jacksons, the Tina Turners, the Donna Summers, the Gloria Gaynors, all of this. And then with all due respect, my most highest respect to all the new talent or the people that have made it in this generation. But when you grow up working to be a showgirl and looking up to them, you know, and then you see what the new generation and what's happening now, is like you have to somewhat modify that vision and adapt to what's happening. And sometimes you just feel like, not that I'm gonna give up, but like, you know, like I got so much good music, and I believe and I know that I am very talented, but sometimes it's not just about the talent, realistically, you know? There's a lot of politics, there's a lot of everything in this industry, you know?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And then speaking of that, you've been doing this since you were 4 years old. And then just being recently that Netflix did a doc series, pretty much like a great doc series on Nicky Jam, another Latin artist. Being that you've been doing this since 4 years old, you have a unique story to tell. And like you said, all the fellas, I mean, you being in the industry as a female, you know, you have to deal with way more shit than guys have to. Could we see?
Right.
It's interesting to see a Amara La Negra document or doc series, like something like it was, like a Nicky Jam.
I don't know. I don't think quite yet. Trust me, I have a lot to say. I have lived a lot. And from being homeless to even sitting in this household right now, my journey has been a lot. And I would love the world to get to hear it and get to see it. And maybe eventually, once I feel that I have reached at least some of those goals I'm still working on, then I'll say, okay, it is time for me to truly tell my story. But I'm still working on it.
For sure. And then, like you said, you took a break during quarantine, and then you got back to it and released Andale. But like, let's go back to Unstoppable. Just with the release of the album and what it's doing now, and just how you've seen all the criticism behind it or all the critiques.
Yeah.
Personally, what do you think after listening to the album fully? What do you think about the album, and what do you think you could have done different, or what do you think you need to work on leading into this next album? Like, what is the that you think about when you listen back?
Well, it was my first time being signed to a major like BMG, for which I'm very grateful that they gave me an opportunity. I decided to be very flexible, and because I was so hungry, and I still am, you know, I pretty much let myself be guided. I was told what music, you know, to do. And it wasn't necessarily the realest music to myself, but I just felt like if you've made so many big hit artists, then all right, cool, I'll do what I basically am told to do. All right, cool, I'll do it. And once it was done, I was like, I knew, like, for example, Insecure was a song that I felt and I lived for, and that was my vibe. A lot of the songs weren't, but I was just trying to let myself be guided because I've been doing it for so long on my own. Once you sign to a major, you're like, they're going to make me pop. They know what they're doing. And it didn't necessarily turn out that way. I'm so grateful for the opportunity. I want to be able this time around to do music that I feel that's more genuine to myself, that sounds more like me. Naturally, I'm very Caribbean. I'm very Latina. I like my music to have a Latin influence. And I was just trying to go a little bit more Americanized. And maybe in that Americanized, I got a little bit too American. And I'm not American. So, you know, you try, you experiment. It doesn't always turn out the way that you plan. I'm not necessarily, I'll say that I'm proud of it because I worked hard, but it's okay. That was the first one, and it was actually an EP. I've never actually put out an album yet, because I really want to make sure that the day that I do put out an album is something that I can feel proud of every single song and say, this sounds like me. But nothing, like I said, I'm experimenting. I'm working on music now. I'm not sure that this year I will be putting out an album or putting out heavy music like that, because I just feel like we should just throw away 2020. Let's just throw it away and start brand new 2021, because this year has been trash. So I'm working on other things. Like, for example, I'm big into real estate and investment properties. I do things like that on the low, you know, like I said, gotta be smart while you're young. So I do things like that. I'm working on my skincare line, clothing line. We're working on eventually the 4th season of Love and Hip Hop Miami. There's just so many projects. I was supposed to do a movie this year, but it obviously got postponed because of the pandemic. I was moving to LA, that got canceled. A TV show for a major network, late night show, that got canceled. So, you know, a lot of things have changed because of the pandemic, but I just have to work around it.
For sure. And then, yeah, everybody's going through it right now as far as the pandemic goes. But going back on the album and then what you plan on doing now is, in your opinion, how much of the album process goes to what the fans want and what you want personally?
Like, for example, I'm going to be completely transparent and honest. Andale was something more that I wanted to do for my fans than I actually did necessarily for me. I don't consider myself to be a rapper, but if I have to rap, I can rap. You get what I'm saying? So, and it was also fun for me to experiment and explore and see what I'm capable of doing, because that's what music is about. I think that you shouldn't put limits to your art. Like, if you want to do a fusion of, you know, ranchera Mexican music with hip hop, why not? Like, who is stopping you? You can create whatever you want. So I wanted to test myself and experiment and try a different vibe. I'm very more into, like I said, the Caribbean, the Afrobeat, the dance hall, the calypso, the Brazilian funk, dembow, which is a very Dominican. I like to do that type of thing, but I wanted to experiment. Since I'm a love in hip hop and it's a very hip hop influenced fan base, why not do hip hop music? So I did it, experimented, and I still had a little Latin influence in it, and it was fun. And maybe I'll do another one. But yeah, sometimes you just want to do it for your fans, because, you know, they're like, we want to hear you do this, and you're like, all right, cool. And then sometimes you just want to do something. Like me, I'm a showgirl. I like to be on stage and perform and, you know, do the choreographies and the bedazzled and makeup, confetti. Like, that's me. Yeah. So, you know, I think it's fun to try things.
For sure. And then, like you said, you've been gardening, you've been hanging out with your moms and all that throughout this whole quarantine. But as far as the music go, what have you been listening to during this whole quarantine? Even while you out in the garden, while you with your mom, yes. Like even the old school, like old school stuff, like even new school. Like, what
I'm big into, like, I listen to Sade. I'm big into her, Lauryn Hill. I've been listening to, oh my God, my favorite new song, and I love him. He's my friend Edie's. I've been listening to Dream Girl. Dream Girl. Okay, well, I'm very much into that type of thing. I've been listening to El Alfa, Dembow. Oh my God, the whole new album of Black Eyed Peas, I live for. I don't know. I just listen to a lot of world music too. Like, I'm not necessarily super caught up on the music that I hear on the radio. I know it, I've heard it, but I like to listen more to like world music from other places. And obviously as a Latina, you know, I listen to a lot of, I don't know, Anuel, Farruko, yeah. Like, you know, the music that's happening on that side of town too.
For sure. Definitely you got a wide variety of music that you definitely can tap into on a regular basis. And then as far as, you've been hanging out with your mom, like you said, during quarantine. So what have you got?
Oh my God, that sounds so boring. He's like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? You've been hanging out with your mom.
Who doesn't? Everybody does that. I wish I could hang out with my mom during quarantine.
Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, hi. Wait, what's your mom's name?
Karen.
Hi, Karen. A kiss to Karen. Yo, baby wishes that he could hang out with you.
Right. Okay, so like as far as like I said, what have you guys been cooking during quarantine? What have you guys been making together?
Cooking. Well, I'm not the cooker either. I haven't been cooking much, but my mom always cooks. I mean, a lot of Dominican food, arroz, habichuela y carne, mangú con salami, queso frito, like a lot of Latin food, really. But I've been enjoying going out too. I've been actually going out to dinner a lot because I mean that's the only thing you can do here. Everything else is closed, so I've enjoyed that too.
The best spot in Miami for food is what?
My mama's house. No, I don't know. I like certain things from different places. The famous House of Mac and Cheese. I love their mac and cheese. Prime, of course. Houston's is good. I mean, that's like basic standards. There's just a lot of little small places here in Miami that you can go. Food trucks. There's a lot of food trucks here in Miami that you can just stop and experiment. And I enjoy trying new things. Because how do you know you don't like something if you don't try it?
Definitely. And then as far as like going back into music and entertainment, man, even after all this is said and done, how are you gonna change your approach when it comes to fan engagement? Like, you know, you got people that always see you and they want to hug, they want to take pictures and whatnot. But how, with all this going on now, it's like how you plan on changing your approach?
You know, I believe that, you know, as long as we take our safety measurements, we can still take pictures, you know. Obviously, lives on Instagram, Facebook lives are the closest thing I can do to connect with my fan base. And I do it every so often. I get on live and I just talk to them and let them know, you know, I'm here, I love you, and we just chat. I mean, we're very limited in the amount of things that we can do. And as much as I would love to take pictures and just be with everyone, there's a part of me that wants my biggest treasure in life is my mother. She is the biggest, more than money, more than fame, more than anything I've ever had in my life. And I would never want to do anything to put her in jeopardy. So as long as we can do anything as safe as possible, I'm with it. So.
So give me 50 feet. When it comes to my mom, give me 50 feet.
You know what I'm saying? Look, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, right now, I'm actually going to share this with you. I just found out while I was doing Love and Hip Hop last year, like our third season, I showcased and I exposed the fact that my father had prostate cancer, and he was doing chemo and he was working on that. And then now this year he has COVID. So he currently has it at the moment. So, you know, once things like that are put into perspective, you kind of start to think like certain things are not worth it. You know, you can't do everything for fame. You can't do everything for clout. You can't do everything. Like, there's bigger things in life that you can't get back if you don't take care of them. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I just have to be mindful.
For sure, definitely. And then, being that this is 50, man, we want to hear your favorite 50 Cent moment.
Let me see. Oh my God, but the thing is, I don't know all the lyrics. The candy shop, I think everybody knows that. I'm at the candy shop. I mean, oh my God, don't make me rap because my rapping skills for 50 are not that great. But I mean, 50 has, I like, I guess, all 50s old school music. Like back in the days, I think those are my favorites, of course.
Definitely. You definitely could have been one of the girls in the candy shop video. No problem.
Oh my God, you know what? Let me tell you, let me put it out there just in case, like, let me fluff my hair and everything. Look, you know, if you want to do the remix, bring it back. I'm ready. Let's go.
Facts. And then another thing that's been going on in the culture right now is name changing. A lot of people have been changing their names due to, you know, whatever controversy that surrounds it. And you came in early with, you said yourself, your name people had said your name would have controversy behind it. Like,
right.
I mean, with everything going on now, have you thought about changing it, or have you just been like, nah, I'm still ride with it, whatever? So,
I mean, nobody ever knows how to pronounce my name anyway, so I get the Amara La Negra, Amara La whatever. I mean, I get it all the time, and I don't take any offense to it. There's nothing that you can tell me about my name that's going to make me feel some type of way. And I'm actually very proud of it. I enjoy being called Black. I enjoy people telling me, oh my God, I love your melanin, I love your black. That's right, I love it. So I don't see myself changing my name. Hopefully I will never do anything to jeopardize or put any bad juju on my name to the point that I feel like I have to change it. So personally, no, I'm going to stick to Amara La Negra, and hopefully when I'm like 60, 70, that name is going to still be impactful. I mean, that's, you know what I mean? That's the goal.
Hey, you got it. As long as you don't want to change, if you like it, we love it.
Do you want to change yours? Would you?
Nah, not for anything in the world. But at the same time, my name doesn't have like a long history of like enslavement and whatnot.
Well, okay. I mean, I guess I know what you're saying.
I feel you. So, all right, but lastly, what can we expect from you in the near future? Even though we're all in quarantine and like you said, you don't have any plans of releasing an album this year, but what can we expect from you for the rest of 2020?
The rest of 2020, I don't really know. I think I'm gonna be, I don't know, because I be talking shit. I be saying, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that. And next thing you know, Amara La Negra just did that. Look, I don't really know what I'm gonna do, but I'll tell you this much. 2021 will definitely be the year that I'm gonna be more focused in dropping music and completely be focused on that. But this year, I think I'm more in the preparation stage, more of building the foundation for the next year to come. This year, I just feel like it's been just so overwhelming. Anytime I've ever wanted to do something, something happens, you know, whether it is currently, you saw the explosion and things that are happening around the world, you know, and at a moment, we're going through a very, very heavy protest. And as an activist, I stopped everything that I was doing music-wise to focus on that. And I continue. So it's like this year has been a year more of, let's just take a break and prepare for next year. We can still put out music, but as far as like really focusing, there's just so much more happening right now that I just don't see it. But let's see what the future holds. I don't know. So like I said, besides my clothing line and my skincare line and filming for Love and Hip Hop and, you know, doing all those other things, I'm going to stay busy, but, you know, it's going to take some time.
No doubt. We always look forward to everything that you do, and it's amazing that your activism goes. And then, like you said, you got your skincare line, your fashion line. Yeah. You keep them busy. You've been an inspiration to a lot of young women just coming up in the culture right now who look up to you, people like yourself, who look up to game changers like yourself. So,
amen. Thank you so much.
Like we said, if you guys want, man, just go check out Andale. And then if you guys really want to go further, dive into her catalog. You can see you can hear Unstoppable along with her other debut EP that she made. It was probably like 3 years ago since she made the EP, right? The first
2 years.
2 years ago.
2 years.
Just check out all the amazing things that she's doing. Oh, make sure you check her out in the 2 Chainz Most Expensivest.
Oh, and also make sure to check me out on Netflix on the movie Fall Girls.
See, you already got a connection with Netflix. See, now we can just get the doc series going.
See, the thing. Okay, let me tell you what it is. I be working. I just don't be talking too much about it. I just be doing what I do.
Hey, that's another thing that women like that look up to you need to realize. You know, hey, you ain't got to voice everything that you're doing out here. You can move in silent and be successful.
Exactly.
So, definitely. Well, hey, thank you for taking the time out. We know you're a busy woman. Appreciate you, everything you do. And we continue to look forward to everything that you're going to do in the future because you're going to be larger than life even now. So, but.
Amen.
Hey, man, this is 50. We got Amara La Negra.
Yes.
We out of here. Peace.